You have been working on an issue that finally came to fruition in legislation. It's called the Baggy Pants legislation or issue. Why did you feel that was so important?
Well, one, because my constituents had a concern about the obscene nature of some of the young people walking down the street, showing their underwear in their body parts. We were taught different than that. And I initially went to the legislature and made it a felony to walk anywhere outside of, in Florida, to sag as a violation of the law. And of course my colleagues said, we understand what you're trying to do, Senator Siplin, but we think that's too penal. So I went back and reconsidered, got some advice from some of my colleagues, and we thought that the best environment to deal with this popular issue is in the school system. Since we teach our youth how to write, read, and do arithmetic, we ought to also teach them how to dress, because the purpose of education is to get them matriculate with knowledge through first grade to 12th grade to go to college and get a job. And we know that you cannot get a job if you're sagging at an interview.
Well, dressing this way would probably give them kind of a self-image that maybe I've heard you talk about that would not be in their own self-interest.
Right. You know, first of all, as your mother taught us, you and me, your first impression is a lasting impression, all right? And I think they picked up a fad that they don't really understand where it originated from, and that's prison. When you walk around in prison sagging your pants, you're indicating to another male prisoner that you are available for the night, and that's not appropriate for our young folk. And once you tell them that, then their eyes pop and they get silent. Well, I'm not doing that. So it's also an education process to understand where you're going, where you've been, and where you're going.
How have you been trying to get the word out about the passage of this law? What have you been doing about that?
We've been going personally to high schools in Orlando, Jacksonville. We're going to make our tour around the state of Florida to get the word out. And we also been handing out over 200 belts to those individuals who are sagging. And a lot of the kids have asked for belts because, for a reason or not, they don't have the money to buy belts. So it may be a fad for the majority of the folk, but some folks just don't have the money to buy belts. And we've given those belts, and they wanted to pay, but we say, hey, we'll give you the belt because you don't have one, and we want to prevent sagging. And of course, I've been on a lot of news stations around the country, Fox News, to make sure that we get the word out. And by going to the schools, we know proof that they understand the law, they respect the law, and they have been complying with the law.
Has there been a negative reaction to this new law?
Yeah, a lot of folk mistakenly thinks that why am I wasting time on something about dress code or sagging pants when the economy and jobs is a priority? And that's true, Steve, but mindful that we can't afford to spend billions of dollars to educate our kids and make A's and B's and go out and do an interview and not get the job because they are sagging. All right, we want to make sure that everybody, once we get these jobs, participate. Black, white kids also get jobs, and they must learn how to interview in a dress code appropriate manner.